Screen recordings.
If you've ever made an informational video before, screen recordings were probably an essential part of it. But here's the thing. Most of your screen recordings suck. What's up, guys? I'm Aaron the Tech Guy, and here are 3 ways to make your screen recordings way better. Alright, so I'm going to start off with why your screen recordings suck, because that was a very harsh statement that I just made. Alright, so here's the thing. Whenever you see screen recordings, you often see them just presented like this. Just a bland old screen recording. But that draws the attention away from the viewer. There's nothing engaging to look at a screen recording like this. So in this video, I'm going to show you 3 tactics on how to make your screen recordings more engaging, starting from the easiest and moving up to the hardest. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, let's consider. Alright, let's consider with the first method. This method is mainly for screenshots, but you can use it for video too. I apologize in advance for any lagging. I'm editing on a laptop, and I'm also using OBS to record my screen at the same time, so it'll be what it'll be. Alright, let's get started. So I'm in Premiere, right? The first thing obviously I want to do is import all your media. I'm going to start with this lovely little screenshot of the Apple website. I'm going to import it into my timeline. And I could just leave it like this if I want to show this screen, right? But you know, that's pretty boring. I'm going to cut into this line. But you know, it's just pretty boring. So let's spruce it up a little bit. Many of you might know about the motion panel, right? You can go in there, keyframe your position and scale, and do all sorts of fun things like that. But that's not cool enough for us. We're going to be real cool cats right here. We're going to go to the effects panel. We're going to search for the transform effect. I can't spell. There we go. Transform effect. It's right here. We're going to take that. We're going to apply it to our thing. Now the first thing I want to do is we're going to add some motion blur. So I'm going to uncheck use composition shutter angle and change our shutter angle to 180. Next, I'm going to start keyframing my shot. So for this example, I'm going to zoom into the Monday the 29th because that seems cool. I'm going to keyframe my position and my scale. Then I'm going to go to the end of where I want my effect to be. Here seems good. And then I'm going to scale it and move my position. You'll notice it works slightly differently than the motion panel, but really not appreciably so. So now if we play it back, we've already got a bit more of a fun effect. Here, let me play it back at full resolution so you can really see. It's got some nice motion blur, but that's not cool enough yet for us. We're gonna go even cooler. So, first thing you wanna do is you wanna highlight all of your keyframes, right click on them, temporal interpolation, then ease in. Now we can control the speed at which this effect occurs. So I'm going to expand my scale. I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna go like this. And then I'm gonna take my position, I'm going to do the exact same thing. And now, if we play it back, you'll see we've got a nice effect. Let's make it go even faster. I'm gonna move my keyframes close together. Ta-da! Isn't that so much more fun? So to sum up, we did a few things. First of all, we added motion blur, we made it fast, and we added a custom curve to it. Those 3 things will help you engage your audience a lot more with just plain old screenshots. Play back over time. On to method number 2. So this one I'm going to use for screen recordings because it's for showing entire windows. This technique assumes you've seen the Peter McKinnon's video on how to do looping backgrounds. If you haven't, I'm going to link it in the description. Go watch that and then come back to this. It's very important. But for those of you who have seen it and have a looping background, let's get right into it. So I have my looping background here. Unfortunately, it's going to lag because, well, OBS and also Premiere. But I've got my looping background here, just a loop of my logo. It's already lagging. You get the idea. I'm going to import this. There we go. Okay, so I've got my looping background. I've got myself a nice little screen recording. Unfortunately, it glitches a little bit, and that's because I use Apple's built-in screen recording tool. If you guys want to see a tutorial on how to do proper screen recording on Mac, let me know. Quick summary, OBS. But for now, I'm going to import this into my timeline. I'm going to cut, and I'm going to scale the screen recording to how I want it to be. So this looks like a decent size. Now if I play it back, it's already a bit better. But that's not enough for us. We're cool like that. I'm going to separate the screen recording from the background by doing a couple of things. First, let's add a Gaussian blur. We're going to go to the effects panel, search for a blur. And now I'm going to choose Gaussian blur, apply that to my background. Oops. I'm going to choose a background blurriness of 30 because that seems like a good number. And I'm going to toggle repeat pixels so we get rid of that vignetting effect. Now we can already see that there's a bit of a separation between the background and the screen recording. But let's go one step further. Again, I'm going to go back to the effects panel, search for drop shadow. Now I'm going to apply that to my screen recording. Now you can mess around with the distance and the softness a little bit, and I think this looks pretty good. And now you're done. This is all you need to do to spruce up a screen recording that otherwise would have been super boring. Let's attempt to play it back. As you can see, or not see as it may be. Let's run this out. Alright, now that we've rendered it out and we play it back, you can see it adds just another element to the video that makes it that much more engaging. It's just better in every way. As if you've watched my previous videos, you've probably seen it a bunch of times. Let's go on to method 3. This one's really getting into the weeds a little bit. We're going to be using After Effects, but don't worry, it's not as hard as it looks. So, again, we're going to start off with the same base of our nice little screen recording here, and we're going to drag it onto the timeline. We're going to keep existing settings. I'm going to zoom out, just so I can see my entire thing. Now we're going to right-click on the clip. We're going to click Replace with After Effects Composition. This is actually my favorite out of the 3, and if you've watched my channel ever, you've probably seen this one before, because it's so much fun. Okay, now we've got a composition with our clip in it. Now we're going to right-click on the clip. We're going to click 3D layer over here. This is very important. Without it, the rest of the process will not work. Now we're going to right-click on the area where the clips are. We're going to click New. We're going to click Camera. We're going to leave all the settings at their defaults. Okay. Now here comes the fun part. We're going to drop down the camera menu and the camera options. We're going to basically just going to keyframe all of these things because this is the beginning of our clip. Now the idea is you want to play around with all of these settings until you get a position you want. So I usually play around with position the most. This looks cool. Now I'm going to go all the way to the end, and I'm going to keyframe it, and I'm going to keep messing around with it. So I'm going to mess around. I'm going to basically completely change it. Beautiful. So now if we go back to the beginning, we can play our animation through. And we can see we've got ourselves a nice little animation. If we hit save, we go back to Adobe Premiere. Ta-da! Look at that. It's all right here. And see, that wasn't so hard. This one, again, as I mentioned, is my favorite because it adds a 3D element to your screen recordings, and it really draws the viewer in. And that's really it. As you've seen, here are 3 really simple techniques to improve your screen recordings and draw the viewer in instead of making them feel like, another screen recording. And you can take these techniques, you can add more drama to them, you can add more flair. These are just the basics. And you can go from here. That's basically it. Congratulations, you've made it to the end of this video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications with the bell icon so you don't miss any of our future videos. As always, you're watching Aaron the Tech Guy. Bye.